Hello, hello, hello. Is this thing on? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the channel, welcome to the channel. Live on Saturday night is Bose 831 Gaming. Live on Twitch. Hello once again, hello everyone, hello everyone, hello everyone. Welcome to the channel, welcome to the stream. Once again, I'm on Farming Simulator 22. I'm live on Twitch, and this is a continuation of my Twitch live stream series on the ELM Creek farm and Farming Simulator 22. And we're just going to jump right in, picking up from where we left off on the last episode of the series. At the end of the last episode, we had just finished harvesting my grass fields and my wheat fields, and we were getting prepared for rolling and mulching, on both of those fields. And I've actually done both of those activities off camera. My grass field is completely mulched here, completely rolled, and my oat field, field 42, has been mulched. So both these fields are good to go, and we also took care of the horses off camera. So we're completely ready to move on to the next day on our farm. And we're in day 1 in August. And we're ready to move on to day 2 in August. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Alright. So we're on day 2 in August, and we're going to start off with our normal routine for our farm activities. Just going to hop right into the TLX and start off by taking care of our chickens with chicken feed. For the most part, we like to feed our chickens barley. It's the most cost-efficient crop to feed your chickens. Sometimes it can be a little tricky trying to find that trigger. Alright, so chickens are fed. We can come back and drop off the leftover barley. Alright, that's dropped off. Next thing we want to do is we want to grab some seeds and go ahead and take care of our greenhouses. If you're just tuning in for the first time and you're puzzled as to why I need seeds for the greenhouses, these are the greenhouses that I have on this map are modded greenhouses that require additional inputs and in turn produce additional output. And one of those inputs is seeds. And as is the case with the greenhouse triggers, we don't know exactly where they're at, so you just kind of have to guess where the spot is. I've had the most success in lining up the dump trailer with the greenhouse doors and kind of dumping in that spot. And in most cases, I hit the trigger on my first try, but not all the time, so let's see how we do tonight. Just go through each one and kind of hit the dump button right at that point in front of the double doors. Let's just keep going. And again, we're just trying to hit that little sweet spot where we believe the trigger point is. Each of these greenhouses, and then we can go to our production chains menu and take a peek and see how we did. And we're looking at the greenhouses. These are all the large greenhouses. And we're looking at this in the seeds column, and so we're just going to scroll through each one. Alright, looks like this time we did miss one of them at least. So I call that a win, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to worry about going back through for another pass. And we're going to drop the leftover seeds back into the silo. And the next thing we're going to grab is another one of the additional inputs for these greenhouses, and that's manure. So this time we're going to go over to our other animal area and grab some manure. Make our way over to our other area. Just want to say I hope everyone's had a wonderful day. Alright, start filling. We're just going to grab a decent amount of manure. Well, we'll just grab it all. Might as well. Take it from the pigs. Alright, build up to max capacity. Swing our pickup back around. Head back over to the farm. For those of you that's been tuning into my shows for a while, you kind of know the drill here. So we're gonna break it down, come back over here. It went too fast, so turn it wide. So my driving skills are back on full display again. We had a break from that for a few episodes, but we're back at it again. Alright. Let's just go this way. We're going to try to do the same deal again that we did with the seeds, just this time it's manure. And again, we just stop in front of each set of double doors and hit the dump button. And hopefully we'll hit all of the fill points for our manure. This is not an exact science. Okay, and that's the last one. And the same as before, we'll take a look at the production change menu and let's see how we did. And this time we're checking the manure. As we scroll through each one, looks like we actually had more success with the manure this time. Looks like we hit every one, which is great. So we're done with the manure. We can take the remaining manure, back over to that part of the farm, into our other production chain facility that we own, which is our mini BGA. And we can dump this manure into the mini BGA so that it can be processed into digest state. Okay, so we are at the mini BGA. We're going to go ahead and dump off our manure here. go into the production chain menu and take a peek at our mini BGA. And this is the mini BGA with refueling. And we already have the manure production activated. And so the mini BGA will start turning that manure into electric charge, methane, and digestate. And since we're here, we'll just go ahead and grab the remaining manure from both the cows and the pigs and add that to the volume that's already in the mini BGA. It's just something to keep that production chain fed, keep that production chain going, at least for a short period of time, because the rate of production, the mini BGA will burn through that manure and turn it into the digestate, methane, and electric charge pretty quickly. Alright, well, we're done with that section of the process, so next we're going to go back to the main farm and grab our liquids trailer so we can go ahead and add water to our greenhouses. So that's the next step in the process. So we're going to get the TLX back over here in this little sweet spot and disconnect the trailer, the dump trailer, come back in, go over here to the right, and we have a tanker trailer. We're going to grab that. And it's already loaded with water, so we can just swing right on in. Alright, and hit the dump trigger. The water triggers work different from the dump triggers for the trailers. Once you hit the switch for the water trigger, the waters will start coming out or dumping from the trailer automatically when it hits the trigger point, so you don't have to keep pressing the buttons. And all I'm doing is driving through till I see a point where the water starts to drain out. That's how I know I've hit a trigger point. And at that point I hit on brakes in order to let the water drain on out until it stops moving again. And that's when I know it's full. And as we did before, I can go through our production chain menu and check each of the greenhouses to see how we did. And you're looking at 20,000 liters of water, or very close to it, for each of the greenhouses. Looks like we hit our target. Greenhouses are good to go. And we don't need our dump trailer at least for the time being, so we can go ahead and put it away. We're just going to go ahead and disconnect the dump trailer, the water trailer, and reconnect the dump trailer. Now TLX is ready to go. Alright, next up in the process, we're going to go to the other section of our farm and tend to our cows and pigs. And we're going to start off this part of the process first with our straw. Both the cows and the pigs need straw for their bedding. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So we have our straw blower, and we're going to the cow barn first. trigger to pop up and hit the button to start blowing the straw. And with the cows, remember, the straw is used in two places, but depending on what type of barn you have. It's used inside for the bedding, and it's also used as a component of the mix if you're feeding your cows to your barn. Alright, so the bedding is all filled to capacity, so no more straw there. And so let's go do the same thing for the pigs. You just have to move around until you find the area where the trigger is at. And once you hit it, then you can just hit the button so that you can blow the straw. It looks like we got all the straw in there that we can at this point in time. So we're done there. Then we can drop that trailer off. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and grab the pig feed trailer. And roll on over here to the pig feed location and try to find that trigger. There it is. Alright, we're dropping off some pig feed. Since the pigs we sold our older pigs and we only have about 90 young piglets in there right now, they're not going to take that much feed, but as they get older, the amount of feed they consume will increase drastically. Alright, so we're going to drop back in here and drop that trailer off. We're done with that. In fact, at this point, we're pretty much done here, but just for good measure, I'm going to go ahead and add some bales to the TMR mix area for the robot. And it's also been a while that I've loaded any mineral feed. So I'm going to have to probably look at some point here in the not too distant future, making sure I restock on my mineral feed too as well. That's a component of the mix that I haven't been loading in the system on a regular basis, but it is something that I need to keep my eye on because that's part of the mix as well. Alright, so we drop those bales off, and then we go in here and take a look at it. And you see silage is at 109,480 liters. So good there. Go back and take a look at it again. Straw is at 60,000 liters. The hay is at 82,000 liters. So we could grab a couple of bales and add to those areas as well. It's not required, but it is something I just like to do just to keep them kind of topped off, if you will. Whoa, came in hot and fast there and almost had a major disaster with bales flying everywhere. As it is, I did shake the bales up enough where it's going to be a little bit of a challenge kind of grabbing my bale. Well, still struggling here, so it's going to be a lot more of a challenge. And there we go. That's what I was not trying to do. Alright, so I gotta go grab that, see about picking up that bale I knocked over there. So let me put this one out of the way for the moment. It looks like I disturbed a couple of bales here. And that was certainly not what I was going for. So we're gonna have to try to clean this mess up a little bit. Alright. Let's see here. Alright, so we can grab that bale. And then swing this thing back around, and let's see if I can actually back in here. Spikes lined up, and then I turn it this way and that way, and voila. We're back in business. Need to do the same thing with this other bale that I knocked over in the back of the room. And again, just being real careful here so that I don't disrupt any other bales. Alright, then let's pick her up. Alright, just place this one off to the side. Like so. Let her go. And come around from the top. Get situated and get my spikes in the right spot. Bring it down. Pick it up and point it that way. And there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you're watching bale operations in full effect. Alright. And since these bales have volunteered themselves for collection, we're going to go ahead and grab these bales and take them over to the TMR mixer. Just drop those right into the mix. And of course, took both of them, and I'm just going to go ahead and grab this third and bring it on over too, since it volunteered itself. Alright, and this is just that one hay bale. And we go ahead and drop that off. As you can see, it disappeared, so it took that bale without any problem. So now let's go grab some straw and do the same thing with our straw. got 2 bales of straw. We're going to drop those off. In theory. There we go. And for whatever reason, the building seems like it's temperamental when it comes to straw. Or is it just that the max is different? I don't think so, but hey. We'll leave those 2 right there. What's the number that it's sitting at right now? 59,643. So it's 60,000 liters to max. Maybe so. Because it's not taking those 2 right now. But we'll leave them there for now. And we're going to go ahead and park our front loader. We're done with it for the moment. And just take a look at our animals menu. Make sure that animals are good to go. Sheep are still good. I haven't had to drop off any bales for their feed in a while. Horses still need to be ridden. And they don't have any feed or straw concerns right now that are of any issue, so I don't really need to mess with them. Pigs are good. Cows are good. I'm coming up on the cows when the milk storage is almost maxed out, so it's going to be time very soon to go ahead and do some milk deliveries. Alright, so that's all of our yard work now on the farm. So now we can take a look at our fields and see what we need to do there. And as we take a look at our fields and we're looking at the precision farming environmental score for our fields, and as you can see, I'm still struggling with field 40 and getting its score up to where it needs to be for whatever reason. Field 43 is not going to ever be up to that higher level because this is where my grape farm is at, and those fields function differently, so you can't really do all of the precision farming stuff on your grape orchards. I do think that sometime in the future Giants needs to address that and make it where the precision farming does not account for grape fields or does not include grape fields and olives in their calculations. I also have the same issue on my newer fields, trying to get the environmental score for those fields up to where they need to be. And you can see where the problem areas are the same. No, they're a little bit different on this one. The same on this one. And if we break down the environmental score, you can see what that is. The top 3 are nitrogen, pH value, and weed control. So that's the problem on 53 and 62. 79 has issues on weed control and tillage for whatever reason. And if we look at my field 70, it's just nitrogen appears to be the only issue on that field, allegedly. But there's nothing, if we go to our crop calendar now, there's nothing, no crop that I have that is currently ready for harvest right now. Grapes will come be ready to be harvested in September, so the grapes will be ready to be harvested when we move to the next day. We can also start plant our wheat and barley in September. And as you can see from my map, we have an oat field, a wheat, and a soon-to-be barley field, which is I'm going to set barley up in field 54 again. Alright, so before we do anything else, let's take a look at our production chain menu again and just take it from the top and just make sure we don't have any issues there that we might need to address. Checking my bakery, my dairy, my oil mill. I can actually get that going now. I didn't even think about that. We have canola now, so we can bring some canola over to the oil mill so that it can produce canola oil. The grain mill has still got plenty of wheat there, but that's another thing I need to look at if I want to drop off a load of wheat. Sugar mill is max to capacity. No issues there. In fact, I have a backlog. And we already addressed the greenhouses, so let's scroll on down to our next section. Alright, lime production, no stones, no lime, so alright. In logistics warehouse, nothing I need to mess with there. Let's go down to fertilizer production digestate. That's currently not producing because we don't have any digestate loaded there. So egg shipping, alright, eggs and wool shipping, those ship to the distribution warehouse, so those are still going strong. Industrial bakery is running low in flour and milk, but the logistics warehouse should feed it both of those items, so it should not run out. And then my mini VGA is producing manure. Excuse me, has the manure production turned on, and it's turning that manure into electric charge, methane, and digestate. So we're all good there. So I want to go now to my to the crop prices and take a look at what crops we have on hand. And we have 93,000 liters of wheat, and we could distribute that to our grain production chain. We have 15,000 liters of oat, 33,000 liters of barley. Most of the barley is I'm just keeping in basically on the yard for feeding the chickens, but I could also sell or distribute that in the right months to sell the barley for the best profit. We have 15,000 liters of oat, which is used for feeding the horses, but same as the barley, I can sell off some of it depending on what's going on in the marketplace. Alright, we got 9,655 liters of canola. I can take all of that to the oil mill, and we shall do that shortly. We have 12,981 liters of soybeans. We'll need to wait and sell that when we get the best price. We have 158,827 liters of our sugar cane, and we know that's in the already in the sugar production chain, so that's already where it needs to be. Alright, let's go back and take a look at the price on barley. And we're in the month of August. Barley sells best in the month of December. Wheat also sells best in December. Canola sells best in November. and soybeans sell best in June. So it looks like for the most part I'm going to be holding on to these crops until the season cycles around to the best time to sell. But based on what we do know and what we have observed, there is something we can do for this job. I'm going to go to my larger truck, and that's my Mack Superliner. And we're going to go ahead and take some product over to my oil mill, and that will be canola, so we can get our canola oil production back operational. Alright, so we're going to take canola. We have 9,655 liters of canola. So we have our canola, and next stop is the oil mill. And that's just like right up the road. So we're just going to take a little short drive over to the oil mill. Alright, came in a little too hot, so I had to take that turn wider than I wanted to. Alright, but here we are at the oil mill. And we just want to drop off the oil that we have. So now when we go back into our production chains menu and we want to go to our oil mill, as you can see, where there's our 9,655 liters of canola, and we can go ahead and activate the canola oil production chain. And yeah, you can see the general information on how it operates. It's 4,800 cycles per month, and production cost per month is $60. So we have that production chain activated as well right now, and it's automatically set to distribute to my logistics warehouse, which is set to sell. So no issues there. All of that will sell automatically as the canola is produced. So no hauling around of canola oil pallets right now, if you will. Okay, way to stop for the vehicle that has right-of-way traffic. Alright, so next up we need to do some moving around about wheat crop. And again, coming in too fast, so I had to take a wider turn. I need to be very careful about that. Make sure we don't have any major accidents. Alright, so now we're here, and this time we're looking for wheat. Take as much as we can hold. And I don't remember this this Superliner has different capacities. You can have realistic and unrealistic capacities. I don't remember exactly what I have this one set at the moment. Alright. So I have 82,000 liters of wheat. And now we're going to go to the grain mill. No. And to think about where I was at here, it's been a while since I had to make that drive to the grain mill. I don't understand the behavior of the traffic in this game sometimes. Apparently these folks are going the same way we are. And we just passed that narrow bridge sign that is always down and never fixes itself for whatever reason. Alright, we're coming up on the grain mill, and we're going to drop off our wheat here. And like I say, we have 82,000 liters. Alright, let's take a look at the grain mill and see how we're doing. Alright, so the grain mill is pretty close to capacity. I think that's the only load we're going to take for right now. Don't necessarily need to max it out. Let's head back to the main farm. Totally don't understand why that sign never repairs itself. Every other sign in the game does, except for that one. It's just really weird. So we're headed back to the main farm. And let's take a look at this menu again real quick. And I want to go back to my crop and my prices. Yeah, 11,000 liters of wheat. And that's just not enough to really warrant a trip back over to the grain mill, although I could just get as close to topping it off as I could, but that's not really going to make that much of a difference at this time, so I don't need to take another load over to the grain mill right now. So for now, we're done with the superliner, so we can go ahead and park it. Alright, and thanks for your service, Superliner. Alrighty, that's some good stuff. So we're done with everything that we need to do today. So it looks like we're ready to move on to the next business day. So if there are no objections, we're going to move on to the month of September. We're done with day 2 in August. Oh, can't move yet. I just thought, almost about to forget about my horses. So I guess we will go ahead and take a little shortcut, top off the straw. Not going to worry about feeding them right now though. Not quite a full load of straw, but we don't need a full load. Just drop off some straw for the horses. Alright, and then dump the leftover straw back into the silo. And next up is horse riding time. And we'll start with Spirit. And we're taking the same route we do most episodes. Just gonna ride out from the stable over to these billboards. Once we hit around 50%, we turn back around and head back to the stable. And that should give us enough riding. By the time we reach the stable, we should be pretty close to 100%, if not already at 100%. I said, this is one of the things that I'll be doing on my lives. It's a little bit different from most streamers, because most streamers, if they have animals, they don't usually do the horses. But just to be something a little bit different, I'm just going to including the horses in my farm as well. Alright, missed time I jumped there, so let me back it up. And go again. There we go. So that was Spirit. Next up, let's ride Poncho. And away we go. Alright, and once again, same deal. Once we hit about 50%, we turn it back around and head back to the stable. And we just do this drill for each of our horses on a daily basis. Alright, let's see if I can time the jump a little bit better this time. Yes, got it this time. Alright, so we're done with that horse. So now we're going to go to the white ones. And we're going to start with Applejack. Let's jump. And take her for a short ride to the billboards as well. Alright, we're here. Right at about 45% by the time we reach here. So we can just go ahead and turn back around and head the other direction. Alrighty, did not do a good job of timing my jump again. Alright. So one more horse. And this is Yankee. Alright. Time that jump well. Alrighty, so we can now turn back around and head back to the stable. And while we're doing this activity, just wanted to touch on something that I do, at least try to do when I think about it in some of my episodes. Just kind of keying on any new and notable mods this week. The only one that's really a big one for me that was released this week was the grape orchards by Omatana. And basically what she has created is grape orchards that function like greenhouses. And you just put all the inputs the same way you would for a greenhouse, and the output is grapes. So you don't have to use all the specialized equipment for grape harvesting. You can just put a bunch of, in theory, put a bunch of, place a bunch of these down the same way you do greenhouses, and have a field for grapes, an area for grapes that takes up, much less space, time, and specialized equipment. You'll still get that same output of grapes. I don't think we can see that if we go to my mod, install mods from in the game. I don't think it'll show in that menu, but we'll double check. Nope, I don't think you'll see it here, because it's treated like a building or like a placeable. The placeables are not in this menu. Alright. So we gotta finish up with the horses. Just need to clean them up here. Alright, just trying to make sure all of them are cleaned. Missing one of my... Oh, there you are. So now everybody should be good to go. That's good stuff. So now we can kind of hop back over to the main farm, because we're done with everything that we need to do today, finally. So let's move on to the next day. Alright, here we are. Day 1 in September. Got canola is growing, but we have some weed problems going on here. That we're going to need to deal with. And we'll get to that in just a bit. First, let's look at our menu and see what we got going on today. As I indicated earlier, we can now plant wheat and barley, so we'll need to do those activities. We're also ready to harvest grapes, so we need to do that activity as well. So those are the key activities that we need to work on today. So we're just gonna jump right into those two activities before we get to doing our other farm work. I'm gonna do things in reverse order today. And I also want to address my fields that have already been planted. As you can see, we got weeds growing here on our canola field that we need to address. Alright, let me go over to here too, because I'm still a little puzzled about why that environmental score on my sunflower field is not higher than what it's reflecting right now. I don't quite understand that one. Because I think I've already done everything on that field. Yeah. Yeah, everything's pH and nitrogen are maxed out, so there's not anything else I can do on that field right now. But still, my environmental score is unusually low. And it's dinging me on nitrogen, pH, and weed control, and all of those things are in good state, so I don't understand why my score is being so low here. Alright, we don't have anything yet on this field because we're going to put barley here. And this is my sugar beet field, and it's sitting at 62 as well. Don't quite get it. Maybe it'll take a few cycles before it works the way it should, but then I've been having problems with 70s for a while as well. Alright, so where do we want to start? Well, let's go to our shop menu. And do I want to go ahead and do the grape harvest first? Let's do the planting. Let's do the weeding first, actually. So let's go over to make sure I didn't purchase a weeder. I don't think I did. Alright. Whoops. Back too far out. So we're going to lease a sprayer, an herbicide sprayer. Once I find them in the menu, there you go. And here in this menu you can see I have another set of equipment that is modded, and that's part of the precision sprayer pack. And in that mod, all of the base game sprayers were updated for precision farming. And I noticed that looking at this Mega 1200, it's not bringing up the spot spraying option. So if it's not bringing up the spot spraying option, that's not good. That means it's not updated for precision farming. But the others appear to be, it's just that one. But I'm going to use this guy right here. We're going to turn weed spot spraying on. Because me being the Kubota fan that I am. So we'll go ahead and lease that sprayer. And actually I'm going to use my Kubota tractor in this situation for this particular job. Alright. And unfortunately, I know you're probably looking at that orange weight saying it doesn't match the tractor. For whatever reason, Kubota colors are not in the shop menu right now. So you can't really get your other equipment to the same orange that the Kubotas have. Anyway, we're on our way to the shop now to go grab that sprayer. We're going to spray our canola field and go ahead and deal with those weeds. Even though the weeds are in a state where I can come through with the hoe. Or the weeder, I should say. It's also like a hoe device. I'm just going to go ahead and use herbicide because herbicide gives you better results as far as precision farming DLC is concerned. And I already have herbicide pallets on the farm. I'm just going to load one of those up. Alright, so we're all loaded up and now we're ready to spray. Just got to get the tractor lined up and unfold the sprayer and we can get to work. Alright, we turn the sprayer on and away we go. And we have the spot spraying turned on, and as you can see, you can visually see when a weed sprayer is only spraying in spots where weed is visible. You can see the short bursts that are only being released in those areas where weeds are at. That's great stuff there. Alright, so we're getting turned around. Come back through for another pass. Alright, it looks like I'm going to have to make a third pass in order to make sure I get the entire field. Just have to come down dead center. There we go. And circle back around and oops. One more pass ought to do it. So you can say bye-bye to the weeds after that. And as you can see, it's just pretty neat the way that the spot spraying works. It's the precision farming DLC. If you have that installed, it's very interesting. It really cuts down on your costs for how much herbicide you would go through as well. As you can see by how much herbicide I have left, I barely even used any of the herbicide. 2%. Alright, so we're ready to unload. So we just want to get right in a little sweet spot right there, and we unload that pallet. Instead of messing around with front loaders and forks and all that stuff, I'm just going to push the pallet with my tractor a little bit out of the way. There we go. Alright, so we're done with the sprayer for right now. I'm not going to turn it in, just in the wild chance that I might still need it for some other application before I move on to the next day. But we're done there. I think since the grape harvest is going to be the most time consuming thing that I get into, we want to go ahead and start dealing with the planting first. And again, I need to make sure I didn't go ahead and have a planter already purchased. I do not. So we can move over into our tools menu, and I'm looking for either seeder or planters. And it's really seeders in this case because we're doing the grain crops. And I want to make sure, because of the precision farming situation, that I'm using a device that is has the ability to direct drill. Alright. And I don't have one that's Kubota branded that's direct drill at the moment, so I have to use something else here. Kind of looking at this John Deere 1590 in tandem mod that I have installed, because that one is a direct drill and it has a 4.5 meter width versus the 3 meter. Or you could just go ahead and go right up to 6. That's 83, that's 41, 67 plus the other piece here, because don't you have to have, let's see, combinations. Yeah, you have to have both these pieces for that. So it's actually 67 plus 18. Alright. This is a little 4.5, it's not 6. Just to do something different. We'll go with the standard. We'll lease this. And that's a 1590 no-till drill mod. Alright. And since we already have the Kubota out, we'll go ahead and use it for this task as well. And we're back to driving to the shop again. And this time we're going to pick up our seeders so that we can seed our wheat and our barley. Alright, we're at the shop. And let's pick up our lease. And there it is, the 1590 tandem mod. And we're going to take that back to the main farm. We have our own seeds on the main farm and our own sources of fertilizer, so we don't need to buy any of that from the shop. Alright, so here we are back at the main farm. Alright, we want to open our cover. And start filling with seeds. And I'm going to go ahead and set it to barley, and we'll go ahead and do the barley field first. Close cover. So we're headed to our barley field to go ahead and put the barley down. And this is a direct drill seeder, which meets the requirements for precision farming, so I shouldn't be negatively impacted for using this seeder in my planting process. Alright, just kind of came into that corner a little bit too fast there. That's why we kind of jackknifed. Alright, so here we are. And first thing I want to do is get out a headland. So if I do want to turn the workers on with this task, they have enough room to kind of maneuver around. Alright, so are we ready to go? I don't hear it. How do you turn it on? Alright, let's see if we're ready to go. There we go. And again, we're trying to put down a headland on this field. And again, all we're trying to do here is create a headland or some strips at the top of the field so that the worker will have room to turn around. In some cases you may have to do the top and the bottom of the field, but let's just do the top this time. I don't think the worker wouldn't be able to figure out what to do when they get to the bottom of this field, but it is the farming simulator AI, so you don't always know what it's going to do sometimes. Alright, so I'm going to give it a go. Let's see how the worker deals. And I could lease another planter and be planting simultaneously on another field, but we're still trying to save a little bit of money. So we'll just go ahead and do them one at a time. But I guess we could go ahead in the shop and might as well, because we're going to need the grape harvester, so we'll go ahead and lease that piece of equipment now. Alright, just making sure everything looks in order. And it does. So we'll go ahead back. That's right, I can't. Why won't they let me lease it right now? Oh, there we go. Having a brain malfunction. Bear with me, folks. $12,000 for a lease. Yipes. Alright, so we have a grape harvester on hand. And we'll let it on over to the grape field. And get it set up and ready for our grape harvest. As you see, we're moving along at the blazing speed of 15 miles an hour. Just kind of industry standard for most harvesters, I guess. Alright, we're almost about to make it. Just a little bit more to go. I'm really feeling this blazing speed. Here. Unfold the harvester. Turn on the harvester. Let's get to rocking. As you can see, we're now harvesting grapes. And this whole process is probably going to take a little bit. Alright, that's one pass out of the way. So now we can just get it turned around and get ready to make another pass. But before we do, we need to... Excuse me. What am I missing? as I said, we need to peek in on our other piece of equipment with the worker. See how he's doing. Alright, still seems to be doing okay so far. I still want to come back and double check his work after everything's said and done. And that's pretty much what we have going on now. And as you can see, when you see the position forming indicator in the mini display, heads-up display, as it's displaying the nitrogen levels, and you can see everything's in red. But that'll be remedied when I come back through with the fertilizer sprayer. Alright, since that worker still looks to be doing well, I'm going to go ahead and focus on my grape harvest. And this is still not a super fast activity because we're actually harvesting now, and there's no fast farming for grapes or olives at this time, so we just have to use the actual speed of the machinery. I'm sure your guys on your PC players, you can find, have other ways of editing equipment so that it performs differently. And as you can see, our harvester is doing well, but it's also starting to get close to capacity, so I'm very soon going to have to commandeer another tractor and trailer so that we can unload and keep this whole process moving. Anywho, as I was saying earlier about the notable mods of the week, there is a grape orchard, an olive orchard mod out now that basically allows you to place orchards as you would like greenhouses and just do your inputs like you would for a greenhouse. I haven't really tested them yet to see how well they work. I apologize for that. I will do some of that off camera and come back and let you know what I think. It's something I might move to. Alright, we're up to 84%, so we're moving along rather nicely, especially considering the speed of the harvester. When we get to the end of this row, we'll do just like we did before. I want to double check on my work. Alright, let me get the harvester line back up. Just got distracted for a bit there and lost perspective on where I was at on the field. Excuse me. Alright, let's go check on our worker and see how he's doing. Alright, still going and making progress. Not complete, but not doing too shabby either. In fact, let's watch him make a turn real quick so we can actually see what he's doing. So I probably should have had the headland on the bottom because you see how wide he's having to take it to make it to turn around. He's coming dangerously close to the railroad tracks. Alright, so let's hop back over to our grape harvest. Get that, turn that back on, and let's go. Keep it moving. Up in there. Let's try that again. Turn on harvest. Oh, yeah. The problem is the details. The harvester is full. And grape harvesting calls for some specialized equipment, including the trailers that carry the grapes. So we're using a special grape trailer here. Alright, now we're going to take this equipment over to our grape orchard. Alright, missing a turn there. Here we are I just need to get this trailer in position so that we can unload and then continue harvesting our grapes. Once again, my driving is just so good. Let's see if I can get it in there right about there. Got the unload operation going. And we have grapes, ladies and gentlemen. Now we can turn this thing back on and get back to work. Alright, not bad at all. Let's get turned around, go back through for another pass. And just rinse and repeat. It's the same deal. That's pretty much all I got for tonight, folks. We're coming up on the last few minutes of the stream, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your support and patronage, and I hope that you continue to tune in and support. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And find me on all the major social media platforms. On each of those platforms, I'm Bose Ether Gaming. For that Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. Alright, trying to get the harvester situated here. Apologies, folks. Once again, getting distracted. Alright, we're coming up on the last 5 minutes of the stream. Before we shut it all down, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. Continue to stay with me, and we'll continue to grow together. As always, if you're not having fun doing what you do, what are you doing? We're just going to keep chipping away here, and got ways to go. These orchards take a little bit of time. This harvesting in general takes an amount of time. I think this is fun. Wait till we get started on the sugar cane over here. There's some new equipment that we have available now that can make that one a little bit more interesting. And as you can see, the grape harvest process is a little bit time consuming. It's great to see the fruits of your labor and all the stuff you do in this process, and it is a process for these grapes. To see everything kind of under fruition is a little satisfying, a lot satisfying depending on your perspective. Alright, and we're almost full as well. We're down to up to 92% on our harvester's capacity, so we're just about ready for another load-unload operation. And we're in the last minute of the stream. Last minute of the stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, night, or wherever it is, whatever time it is in your neck of the woods. Appreciate your support, appreciate you tuning in, and I will catch you on the flip side. Good night, everyone. And when we come back in on the next episode, we'll basically pick up from where we left off, and we'll take it from there. That we will.